So here we have my 1977 RM370 that I recently picked up. These bikes are, in my opinion, very unique. This is a 1977, like I said. This particular model, the RM370, was made in 1976 and 1977 only. Now, I don't claim to be any kind of motocross aficionado, but what I do believe to know is that these are a little unique, being that they made, like I said, the 370 in 76 and 1977. The next year they went on to bump it up to a 400. So it's a 2-year only model. The other thing that's very unique about it is, remember that in the 70s, most of the bikes were set up with a twin shock suspension, which this one has. However, most of the bikes of the day had a vertical setup. So the rear suspension, your spring or your shock, was vertical. But what makes these unique is that I believe Suzuki was one of the first Japanese manufacturers to lay it down on an angle like you see. And what that did was allow them to put a longer shock, therefore giving you more travel and better suspension. The bikes prior to this, they sat kind of low to the ground, and these ended up having a little better clearance, better suspension. The exhaust was placed up higher, where a lot of the bikes had the exhaust pipe running underneath the frame, which obviously is a problem when you're going over rocks, etc. So anyway, like I said, I got this thing very recently, and it wasn't running at the time, so it now has a rebuilt carburetor. The top end has been rebuilt with Wiseco parts, and I just started it for the first time a little while ago today, and she runs pretty good. I haven't had a chance to really get her out in the dirt and open her up, but she seems to have some good power, especially for such an old bike. There's no front light or front number plate you'll see there. The bike was basically, they had set it up for, looked like desert racing. It had an extra auxiliary gas tank on the front there where the license, or I'm sorry, I keep saying the license plate, where the front number plate normally goes. So I'll have to source that. But this bike is, I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do with it or how I'm going to go about restoring it. It has a lot of parts that I don't think are original. The fenders are not the original fenders. This front fender here is a petty fender, which is a very popular aftermarket fender during the time. You can see that the clutch and front brake levers are not original. This tank is a plastic tank, which originally they were metal. This particular tank is a Clark tank, which again is another very popular aftermarket tank that was used during the time. So she needs some work, but the main thing is she's running, and as you can see, she looks kind of rough, but we'll kind of dial her in as time goes. Gotta love the period correct KMET sticker on there, and if I remember correctly, looks like this was last sticker for off-road in 1999, I believe. Yeah, there it is, 1999. So I don't know when the last time this was actually used, but it's a cool little bike. I like it. You don't see these come up very often, so I kind of jumped on it when I saw it. You also have to love the duct tape wrapped around the end of the Kickstarter. I'm not sure why. I haven't pulled that off to see. You also see there's like a little piece of a chain link that's clipped on there to hold that thing down. So anyway, she's not period correct or anything, I don't believe, other than for aftermarket, but not set up like the factory did. In fact, this front rim is gold anodized, and it's a Sun Metal made in USA. I think Excel was a popular one back in the time. Sun Metal I personally never heard of, but I'm gonna have to do some research on that to see. So anyway, like I said, she needs some work, but she's a pretty cool bike in my opinion. So I'm gonna set this thing down, see if I can get her started. She's quite loud. Well, she's not cooperating. As you can see, blew my head off.